Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The Supreme Personality of Godhead stood with his lotus feet almost touching the ground, while he rested the front of his hand on the raised shoulder of Garuda, the enemy of the snakes. Maharaj Prithu, wiping the tears from his eyes, tried to look upon the Lord, but it appeared that the king was not fully satisfied by looking at him. Thus the king offered the following prayers. Purport. The significant point in this verse is that the Lord was standing above the ground, almost touching it. The residents of the upper planetary systems, beginning from Brahmaloka, the planet where Lord Brahma lives, down to Swagaloka, the heavenly planet of Indra, are so advanced in spiritual life that when they come to visit this or similar other lower planetary systems, they keep their weightlessness. This means that they can stand without touching the ground. Lord Vishnu is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but because he lives in one of the plenary systems within this universe, he sometimes plays as if one of the demigods of this universe. When he first appeared before Prithu Maharaj, he was not touching the ground of this earth, but when he was fully satisfied with the behavior and character of Maharaj Prithu, he immediately acted as the Supreme Personality of Godhead Narayan from Vaikuntha. Out of affection for Prithu Maharaj, he touched the earth, but he rested the front of his hand on the raised shoulder of Garuda, his carrier, as if to prevent himself from falling down, since the Lord is not accustomed to stand on earthly ground. These are all symptoms of his great affection for Prithu Maharaj, perceiving his fortunate position. Prithu Maharaj could not fully look upon the Lord due to ecstasy, but still, in a faltering voice, he began to offer prayers. Omigantinam disyam yanana shalakya chakshumitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave namaha Shri Chaitanya Manovistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamayam Dadati Swavedantikam Vancha Kapaturubhyascha Kripa Sindhuvyevacha Patitanam Pavnibhyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shivasari Gaura Bhaktarinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So the Lord never touches this material world. He always resides in the spiritual world. That's why he has lotus feet. Lotus feet means that he's always residing in Goloka Vrindavan, which is a big lotus flower. And if you look at the lotus, Nama Pankaja Nabhaya, Nama Pankaja Maline, Nama Pankaja Netraya, what's the last one? Namaste Pankaja Nagriya. That the Lord has the navel of the lotus flower. The eye is just like lotus petals, a garland full of lotus flowers, and he has his feet like lotus flowers. So Pankaja, Ja means to be born, and from the mud, but it doesn't touch the water, neither does it touch the mud. It is untouched. So the Lord, he doesn't touch this dirty material world, which is full of contamination of the three modes of material nature, to be contaminated with envy. The Lord does not touch this. He resides always in the spiritual world. So we see here that he is not touching the ground. And Prabhupada is talking about the residents of the heavenly planets, Brahmaloka and Swagyaloka, that they're so advanced that even when they come down to this world, they keep their weightlessness. They're floating above the ground. Maybe you may see devotees also floating above the ground in Kirtan. Nowadays with Kirtan Mela, no one even is on their feet. Everyone's just sitting down the whole time. Maybe in the last 5 minutes they jump up for a bit, but then they sit back down so they don't lose their seat. But no, we're supposed to dance in ecstasy, rise above the ground, rise above this the three modes of material nature. Mamcha virturena, bhakti yogena sevate, sagana sametetam, brahma bhuyaya kalpate. That one is unflinching in all circumstances, engaging in bhakti yoga at once, transcends the three modes of material nature. He attains the platform of Brahman, the spiritual platform. So it's the nature of the soul, which is asangohi purusha. He has nothing to do with this material nature. He has nothing to do with it. He's completely spiritual. So you may think that the question may be asked about the living entity, that if it has nothing to do with the material world, how does it fully get, covered over and fully involved in this? Like, we get told, Deos minyata dehe komanom yavanom jada tatata hantara prapti diras tatta numuyati, that the embodied soul is continually passing from babyhood to childhood to youth to old age, and at death goes into another body. A sober person is not bewildered by such a change. That is confirmed. If you don't know this. So we're not sober, we're drunk, intoxicated by lust. Lust is always pushing us to fulfill the desires of the senses, the demands of this body. So how are we fully identifying with this body if we have nothing to do with it? So in the 11th canto, it's expressed that, Uddhava expressed it in the Uddhava Gita, like, yes, we are trying to know what is making us fully identify with this material nature. Like, it's like trying to mix oil and water. It's not possible. If we're spirit, soul, transcendental, part of the superior energy, then there should be no influence by the inferior energy. So Krishna answers it's due to false ego. False ego is like the glue that makes the soul identify with the material world. Actually, everything in this material universe emanates from false ego. Like the mind is false ego in combination with mode of goodness. The intelligence is false ego in combination with mode of passion. And pretty much everything, the whole Mahatattva, is due to false ego combination with the mode of ignorance. This is what's burying the living entity is buried under 24 elements, emanating from the modes combinating with false ego. So we're very trapped. Even if you look at the universe, okay, it's like, I think it was 40 billion or 400 billion miles long. 40? 400 billion miles. No, that's how big this universe is. It's a small universe. Our Brahma only has 4 heads, so it's very small. So then, outside the universe, there's a layer of earth, and that's 10 times the diameter of the universe. So that's 400 billion. And then each layer of elements, so you got the 5 gross elements, so that's like times 10 again. And then you got the 3 subtle elements, mind, intelligence, and false ego. And that's another 10 on top of that. And we're this tiny spirit soul in this universe, on a particular planet, in a particular country, in a particular city, in a particular temple. Shri Radha Radhanath Ki. And then we think we're so important. This is the power of false ego. This is the envy, due to enviness of the Supreme Lord. We are fully engrossed in the mud-like material world. But the Lord doesn't touch this material world. He has lotus feet. He is above it all. Transcendental. Sometimes the Lord does appear in this world. But when He appears, He does not come alone. He comes with his paraphernalia, his entourage. He comes with the whole holy dance. Kartik is coming up, and everyone is running away to Vrindavan to get extra blessings, to, to bathe in the dust of Vrindavan. Why are we bathing in the dust of Vrindavan? Because Krishna has walked over that, all over that surface there. When Krishna wakes up in the morning, he goes straight to the cows. Yeah, put it up. It's off. That's okay. Hare Krishna.
Maybe it's not.
Is there a way that the live stream can hear and then this doesn't have to echo? Is there a way to live stream without having a big echo in here? Okay. Alright. So we go escape to Vrindavan and bathe in the dust. So how do you get rid of the echo? You can't. Okay, India. Put the echo up. And big horn speaker on the roof so everyone can hear. Vrindavan's funny, like you go past the temple and then, you hear the kirtan inside, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, and then it's just two old guys in there just banging it, So maybe we can do here, put one big speaker on the roof. Are you allowed to? Maybe. I never tried it. There's no neighbors. Yeah, the Muslims do it. So might as well. Vrindavan is funny, especially when it comes to the temples. So every year we do Padayatra. We're going to go and do Padayatra there. And so we walk about like 10 Ks every day with ox cart, and we fill the cart full of bananas. Like we distribute like 40 tons of bananas, like Mahaprasad, and then we have like 20,000 small little books, Prabhupada's teachings for Brijvasis. So when we come into the village, they know the devotees are coming, so they all come out and they know we're going to throw bananas. So the whole village comes out, old people, young kids, especially young kids, they always try and jump on the cart and get as many bananas as possible. And Parshuram, he's an Irish devotee from the UK, and he starts, he's been doing this for like over 25 years. And so he's like got the ox cart and he's just throwing bananas everywhere. He's got like some skill where he like spins the banana and then it goes onto the rooftops. And all the ladies are catching in their saris and all the kids are running. And even like old grandfathers like, yeah, baba, kela, baba, kela. Kela means banana. And, it's just like a full-on, like, the whole village just comes alive. And we're doing kirtan in front of this, going through the village. And even like, say there'll be, like, even the kids are fighting for it like anything. And like the old man, they're trying to catch some. So what happens, this old man, he's like trying to catch one that's being thrown to him, but then he falls into the sewer. And then everyone just laughs at him. Ah! It's wild, these Brijvasis, We go to there's another village called Adi Badrinath, which is like Badrinath, but the original one. And they have a beautiful place called Tapasya Kund or something like that. And it's really funny because it's really hot up there, but then the kund is like fully cold, like it's like some glacier or something was there. And but on the way there, the kids are the most fired up. So we can't use bananas because they'll just climb up on top of the cart. So we get oranges, bags of oranges, and then, we have to throw them far away so they stay away from the cart. And they're like running to the field and catching like this. And then you see many of the villages, they live in like, cow dung huts and like straw on top and everything. And they have their little homes, so they know we're going to throw it into the yard, and then Even the lady, she's like trying to, carry cow dung in her bowl. So she just throws all the cow dung. She tries to catch the oranges in the bowl, like that. So all the kids, they sort of know, so they get in front of her, and then we throw them there, and then no one catches it. It's rolling on the ground. They're running there, and this lady, she starts with the bowl just hitting on the head with all these kids like this. Da da da, that's mine, like this. So yeah, there needs to be one devotee on the cart with a stick to like make sure like the kids don't jump on top. Hey, Josh! So yeah, and then we go to Ari Badrinath, and yeah, beautiful place as well there. So yes, so the dust of Vrindavan, we bathe there, and that's what you're supposed to do in Vrindavan, bathe in that dust. Why? Because when Krishna wakes up in the morning, he goes straight to the cows. He also has japa beads, and they're made out of jewels. He's counting the different groups of the cows. He's calling their names. Apparently there's a group called Mridanga-mukhi. They have heads like mridangas. So they're all different names, and he's calling them. And they want to be milked by Krishna and no one else. So he's going to milk the cows. So there's no vegans in the spiritual world. Doesn't matter how holier than thou they may think they are. But no, it's full of, it's known as Goloka, It's the planet of the cows. That's God's planet. Planet of the cows, Goloka. He's even known as Govinda, And he loves milk, and he's known as Makkan Chor, So he wants to steal that butter that's being made out of the milk of the cows. And yes, so he's here, he wants to milk them, and then it's time to go and herd. He has his bath, and everyone takes part in dressing him and bathing him. But then when he goes out to graze, then Mother Yashoda says, okay, you have to wear some shoes, Your feet are very soft, there's so many thorns and pebbles, you'll hurt yourself. He goes, no, I will not. No, I will not wear shoes. Unless the cows wear shoes, then I will wear shoes. So it says that Nanda Maharaj has 900,000 cows. So that's like, how many shoes? 3.6 million shoes that need to be made. Like that. So the animals in the forest are also devotees of Krishna, and they found this out, that Krishna will go walking without shoes. So then what do? They make a full stampede and making all the dust and pebbles into like fine dust. So Krishna doesn't hurt himself in that beautiful dust of Vrindavan. So when you go around Govardhan, you'll see there's some parts that have that dust. And you can roll in it and be in ecstasy like Akura did. He saw the footprints of Krishna, and he just rolled in the dust when he arrived in Vrindavan. So this is the way to be on the transcendental path, to always be at the lotus feet of Krishna. And this is what Prithu Maharaj has done. Prithu Maharaj is always taking shelter of devotional service. He's always taking shelter of the mission of the Lord to somehow elevate all the citizens of the earth to the platform of pure devotional service. So that is also done, that opportunity is there for us, here and now. We sing every morning, Shri Guru Charana Padma, Kevala Bhagati Sadma. That the only way to pure devotional service is the lotus feet of the spiritual master. Shri Guru Charana Rati, Ese Uttamagati, Jai Prasada Pura Sava Asa. That the perfection of all desires is attachment to the lotus feet of the spiritual master. And what do the lotus feet do? They do two things. They dance in kirtan, and they walk around preaching the holy name. So to connect to the spiritual master means to preach. This temple used to be many devotees staying here, right? We used to have so many. Now, it's not so many. So we need to fill it back up again. And please, Srila Prabhupada, please the spiritual master, and have them on this transcendental platform to be with Shri Shri Radharani in serving their lotus feet. So the best way to, what I found preaching in South Africa is actually university preaching. You know, a big percentage, 80-90% of devotees who've come to this movement in South Africa has been through, especially younger people, through the university preaching. So it's actually, we should invest, 90% of our money, energy, whatever our resources are, into university preaching. Did you come through university? Yeah, see? You got some testimonial. Yes. And it's so nice when we have so many young people in the temple, if they've moved in, or they're like regulars on a weekend, they stay over and they want to go out and preach, like Patita Pavan and Virabhadra, they used to stay over on the weekend and they go out, do Harinam, book distribution. It was a vibrant atmosphere it creates when you have this preaching atmosphere. This is what creates like a vibrant temple. I saw this vibrancy when I first went to this Polish tour by Indra Maharaj. So they rent out a school and something like 200, 300 devotees from all around the world, they stay there. But the mood is like we're going to outreach, so everyone's on board, whatever needs to be done. If you're part of the setup, breakup team, then you make sure you take your rest and you follow what needs to be done. If you're part of the cooking team, you understand you're part of the preaching to feed the devotees who are going out and preaching, setting up festivals. If you're part of the Harinam party, you make sure you get to the bus on time. So this whole mood of like, we're doing this for everyone else, for 2 months straight. And the vibrancy of that temple, even though we had a morning program, was very quick, from like 7 to 9. And then, Maharaj would always fire up everyone to like, yes, we're here to save the conditioned souls. And everyone would be so fired up. This vibrancy, like this, it was probably the best temple experience I ever had. Because everyone was just like no one was thinking about themselves. They're thinking about what can we do to, make those conditioned souls fortunate. What the mercy I got, let me spread that. Let me be part of this. And that type of mood, this is what brings the spiritual world, this sense of like serving others, benefiting others. I saw this mood in the Shantipur festival. So the Shantipur festival was started by Vedacharya, and Kavi Chandra Maharaj has been trying to keep it going by fundraising for it. And the idea is that if you serve prasadam at this festival, you're guaranteed Krishna praying. So busloads from Mayapur just go to Shantipur, and there's just like unlimited buckets of khichdi, but no one wants to sit down, everyone wants to serve, So there's lines for getting a bucket to serve devotees. So you kind of have to force devotees to sit down. Okay, sit down, I'm going to serve you, But this mood was, I tell you, that was like a different type of atmosphere. That let me just serve. Who's there to serve? Where's a devotee I can serve? And it created this like soft mood, this mood of like, yes, no one was thinking about themselves anymore. Everyone's thinking, how can I benefit someone else? How can I serve someone else? And this is the nature of the spiritual world, where it's free from envy. This envy is holding us down here. This false ego, I am this material body and everything is for me. Everyone is for my pleasure. But the true ego is that I'm a servant of the servant of the servant of Krishna as the master of the gopis. This is our true identity. And how do we act in that true identity is to follow the instruction of the spiritual master. He has given this Bhakti Lata Bij, this somehow path back to Godhead in one lifetime. You can't repay that debt, but you can try by preaching Krishna consciousness. So I'll stop here. If you have any comments or questions, I kind of tried to pinch some nerves. Raghunath Bhatti, you want to add something? Do you need a mic so it's on the live stream? Okay, I'll repeat it. Some words of wisdom. There is a mic. Okay, is it gonna make it? Yes. Hare Krishna. Yes, yes. Yes. Sure. Yes, so the question is to unpack false ego, understanding the false ego deeper. So the best person to ask is Devaki Mataji. She wrote a whole book on it, understanding the false ego. So that's also a recommendation. Everyone at home, you can read that book. But to put it in simple terms, it pretty much means that I'm the center. I'm someone significant. This is the nature of the false ego. To identify with this material body and all its labels, a man, woman, South African, Indian, white, black, colored, Australian, brahmachari, grihasta, sannyasi, Kshatriya, Brahmana. These are all labels that are temporary, subject to change. They have nothing to do with us. And we start serving those labels, those designations. So if you start to love India, then it means you hate Pakistan. Right? So this is the nature of false ego. If you love things of this material world, you have to hate something else. It's duality, it has to exist. But true ego means that I'm not this material body, I'm an eternal spirit soul, part and parcel of the Supreme Soul, Krishna. And my purpose, my essence, my Sanatan Dharma is to serve as a servant to that Supreme Soul in loving service. So if you have love, not for your country, not for your species even, but for Krishna, then you automatically have love for everyone and everything that emanates from Krishna. Just like if I love my hand, automatically I love the fingers, the fingernails, and the finger polish. The nail polish is included. It's all included. So if you love the source of everything, then automatically you have love for everyone else. And then you have that equal vision. Vidya Vinaya Sampane, Brahmanika Hastini, Sunicheva Sapakecha, Panita Samadashana. That even the wise, humble sages, by virtue of knowledge, they see the Brahmana, the cow, the elephant, the dog, and the dog eater with equal vision, because they're all parts and parcels of Krishna. So, and everything is for his pleasure. They're all supposed to serve him, not me. So that's the hardest part, because we experience everything from our own perspective, and false ego will make sure to, reinforce that you're the center. Like even me, you're looking at me and listening to me, so maybe my false ego will start to get stronger. But the Bhagavatam, the transcendental knowledge, the process of Bhakti Yoga, and devotee association especially, if you're getting puffed up, they'll make sure they're ready to correct you. They'll bring you down. So when we have problems as a practicing devotee, and false ego comes up, we have to remember this Vanchakapa Tarubhasya Kripasinubhyabhya Patitana Pavnebhyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namaha. So the devotees, they fulfill everyone's desires, the oceans of mercy. The problem is our mind. Contaminated mind will say, no, it's these devotees that are holding me back. No, it's not true. It's just your mind thinking that there's something wrong with them. They all carry mercy to devotees. They all have a unique relationship, unique realizations of their relationship with Krishna. They can reveal something that you have never seen about Krishna. So it's so important that we always stay in devotee association, even though it may be a little bit tolerable. You have to tolerate. But it's the best association. You can't beat it. Just if your mind is trying to give you some false conspiracies about the devotees, just don't, tell it to shut up. These people are the best, and I will stay with them. Lokanath Swami was asked by Radhika Raman Prabhu after finishing the Sanskrit book. So he helped him so much, so he thought, let me get some mercy. So he asked Lokanath Swami, is there one advice you can give me that I can use for the rest of my life? So they Maharaj spoke for a while, and then he says, at Kumbh Mela, there's a particular time when you have to bathe, So there's a big crowd there, millions of people. And it's quite cold at that time of the year, Kumbh Mela and the Ganga. So when it's time, if you're right in the middle of the crowd and it's time to bathe, say you change your mind, no, it's too cold, I don't want to go in the Ganga. It doesn't matter. The crowd will pick you up and put you in the Ganga, like this. So similarly, if you stay packed up in the association of devotees, even if you don't want to go back to Godhead, it doesn't matter. The devotees will pick you up and put you there. Yeah. So being in devotee association, I feel, is the best way to take care of false ego. I don't think we can do devotional service alone. This is the Sankirtan movement. We do it in Sadhu Sangha, Kirtan. Yeah. Kind of went everywhere, so. Yes, Sukuni. That's right.
By nature, I'm a person of extremes. So, thinking about the selflessness required in the tradition, I often found in the name of self, because it's a really high quality, and I often found in the name of selflessness, I sort of run out the door without the armor on.
Okay, yeah, sure, I understand.
So, I'm about that balance. Sometimes I can feel that, okay, if I lean back on the armor, I'm not being very selfless.
Yeah, I understand. So Rukmini Mataji was expressing this quality of selflessness is a high order, and but in the name of it, we may go out to fight without our armor against the material energy. And then if we were to stay back and build that up, then maybe you're not selfless anymore.
But the pull between
Yes.
get the armor.
What's the, yeah. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, a Gosla Nandi is a Bhajana Nandi who preaches. Yes. Who preaches. Yeah. Is that okay? Yeah. Vaisheshika Prabhu says the preaching is the overflow of our sadhana. But I can understand sometimes, yes, there is no time, and there are like kind of emergency moments. So then, you sort of stretch it a bit. But we do need to come back and give ourselves like a week off. Not mean like a week off. It means like you sort of read and hear and then take a bit of rest. So this is also part of it. This is also part of the preaching, because we want to be fit for it. So, like I heard when Keshav Maharaj came here for 14 days, he did 40 programs. 40. So it sounds amazing. Wow, he's so merciful, this and that. But like me and Nitai were fried. I go, no, what are you doing? We have to protect him. You know, he's like, we can't just run him dry already from the beginning. So even our preachers, we have to look out for them and make sure they're in good shape. So then, they can uh, deliver, the mercy that they have for us. So it's also part of that too. That okay, we have to also look out for the other preachers that are going out. You got enough rest? Okay, take a day off. And I know you want to give, but we need you to give for a long time. So yes.
It was interesting with Keshe March. I was also worried, like, with this killer schedule.
Yeah.
And one of his servants approached him and said, Archie, is it okay? You're managing to this? And he said, yeah, I know the signs of burnout. And if I reach anywhere close, I have my mentors in here. Keep me in space. So I was like, wow, that's not me.
The measure the burnout. Yeah. Sometimes you have to burn out like a few times to actually know when it's coming.
A few years.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, I feel like reading the Bhagavatam particularly is a great place to recharge. Just stop everything and be with the Bhagavatam. But Sheshika Prabhu does it in Vrindavan for the whole month. They read like 5 hours every day. It's the group. They just read. Maybe a little bit of reflection, but just straight reading for 5 hours. Bhagavatam is so enlivening, actually. So, when in doubt, if you don't know what to do, just, stop everything and be with the Bhagavatam. Kantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki. Srila Prabhupada ki. Yeah.